What's happening, everyone? Hope you're having a fantastic day. Just wanted to hop on here and talk a little bit about managing your personal finances. Now, want to give you a disclaimer. I am not a personal finance guy. I am not a financial planner. I am a loan originator advisor, and I have looked at many years of budgets, looking at pay stubs, looking at people's income and their debts. And so I'm going to articulate and relate to you some things that I think will be beneficial based on my perspective. But again, guys, I always recommend, if you're looking for some strong advice for your specific situation, you should always sit down with an advisor and talk about your specific situation, because again, there's not a one size fits all for folks' budget and those types of things. But we're going to talk a little bit about savings and investing and some different things, because guys, I see it all the time. I will pull people's credit, I will get their W-2s and pay stubs, and I will look at their expenditures, I will look at their money coming in, their money going out, and will scratch my head sometimes and just not understand why they don't have a lot of money at the end of the month. Not sure really what's going on with their money. And guys, you can't put all the fault on yourself. Again, at the end of the day, we're just not educated about this stuff. It's one of my biggest frustrations with our educational system, is that we are not taught, again, about how to build strong credit, how to balance a checkbook, how to budget, how to start investing early, and the understanding the power of compounding, what they call the eighth wonder of the world. And even what I challenged my children to start investing when they were 18 and 19 years old, whether it was just a $10 or $100 a month, just putting that money away early enough on when the rule of 72 can kick in. And before you know, by the time you get to your 50s, by just investing that small amount of money, how much that can blossom and grow into a large amount of money. And again, there's not only one way to do that and invest. And again, there's multiple different solutions for that. But one of the simplicity of that is putting a little bit of money away in investments and allowing your money to work for you, right? Because at the end of the day, there's only 24 hours in a day. You sleep 8 hours, you sleep a third of your life away, and you have 16 hours a day. You can only work so many hours. If you're not putting yourself in a position where your money is growing and working for you while you're also working and exchanging time for money, it's hard to really kind of get ahead with that. So there's just some things, again, that you can talk to a financial planner about, talk about the specifics, talk about your situation, so on and so forth. So let's hop in here real quickly. So first of all, I think it's important that you lay a foundation and understand what your goals are. What are you trying to accomplish, right? If you're sitting down with a budget, how much money do you want to earmark for, your debt reduction and debt management? And obviously you've got your normal expenses, and if you've got credit card debt, those are types of things that you should probably mitigate and pay off, because again, guys, if you're paying 18, 20, 22, 23% on your credit cards and you're making the minimum payments, it's going to take you forever, if not a lifetime, to pay that off. So you really have to figure out a way to accelerate and pay that off. It's my advice to you that you should never put on a credit card what you're going to pay interest on. Like, that should not be what the credit card is used for. It should just be a change of buying habits, using your credit card to pay for things, and when the bill comes, pay it off. Use your credit card like a debit card. That way you're getting points potentially, or you are creating a strong credit score, because using your debit card, there is no credit that you get from using your debit card on the credit report. Again, that's just a little bit of a side note, but understand, what are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish? Do you want to take a vacation each year? Sit down and say, okay, we're going to put this much money away so we can go on a weekly vacation as a family. Do you have debt reduction, things like that? Keeping that budget and having a goal for that. The next thing that we want to talk about is savings, right? And savings is absolutely important. You should have some sort of an emergency fund set aside. It's absolutely amazing to me when I meet with clients that have almost zero saved. Guys, that's a dangerous place to be in. You want to make sure that even if it's just 10 or 20 bucks a paycheck, that you're putting that money into a savings account. You should have at least 3 months. I would recommend more like 6 months, and some people encourage 12 months worth of emergency funds. So you literally take what your monthly income is, you multiply that, get what your monthly income is, and multiply that either by 3, 6, or 12, and that's how much money you should have set aside in some sort of an interest-bearing account for basically an emergency. So in other words, you would, if your income would be to stop tomorrow, you would still be able to maintain a lifestyle until you can pivot and figure out what's your next step, and not literally lose your income and have nothing in savings, because you would have no money to basically pay your bills to sustain what you would need to sustain. I know a lot of people in that situation that happens and they have to use credit cards. Well, now you're just compounding in reverse because you're basically paying all that money to the credit card company. So just something to keep in mind. I would recommend in the savings that you have some sort of an automated type of savings where basically every check, it just automatically, without you having to think about it, it just takes that money and puts it right into a savings account for you. That way you don't have to think about it. That way you ignore it. You know that it's coming out, it's there, and it grows over time, and before you know it, that money will be there for those emergency purposes. So now let's talk about some investments, some basics in investments. So obviously you have a 401k potentially at your job that you should be contributing to. It kind of goes back to your goals. Like, really earmark what makes the most sense for you. Do you want to put 10% into a savings? Do you want to put 10% into an investment account? Do you want to put 10% towards some sort of debt reduction, and then the rest of it you pay your bills on? And guys, I know that right now things are extremely high and inflation's high and people's budgets are just out of whack, but it still doesn't mean that we don't attack this with a plan. We can't just say, well, it is what it is, and throw our hands up, because again, it's just going to get worse. And so without a plan, you can't have a way out of your current situation. So let's talk about, again, investments from the perspective of, there's obviously Roth IRAs, CDs, things you can invest in, stocks, different types of vehicles that can do that for you. But literally going back, and if you're young, you should really think about putting just a small amount of money away, because I'm telling you right now, if you go to a compounding calculator, it will absolutely blow your mind to just look simply at a minimal return of say 5 or 6% a year in a mutual fund and putting just $100 a month away at age 18 versus waiting until you're 26 or 27. Those extra 7 or 8 years, the law of compounding is very powerful, and it's amazing what you will have at the end of it. But guys, it all really boils down and starts with having a goal of exactly what do you want to accomplish and what do you want to do. Also be thinking about estate planning, making sure that you have your ducks in a row, no matter how young you are. I feel like young people just say, I'm going to live forever, and so they don't have things in place. One of the things that my mother-in-law taught, she passed away 6-7 years ago, but every one of her accounts was paid on death, every checking account, so that things that have to go through probate, these are all things that you should sit down with an attorney about. Do you have a will put together? Do you have these things in place so that when end of life comes, you are not putting a huge burden on your family? So a lot to kind of digest in this video. Again, guys, there's attorneys out there that you can align yourself with for estate planning. There's financial planners you can align yourself with. There's obviously myself as a mortgage originator and advisor to talk about possibly doing maybe some sort of a debt consolidation to try to get your monthly expenses down so that you can put some money away in savings. Again, a lot coming at you in this video, but I hope this has been helpful to you guys. Just wanted to get your mind thinking a little bit in areas of personal management with your finances and how that will look for you. Because man, if you don't have a plan, you're gonna plan to fail basically, because you don't have a plan to accomplish the things that you're setting out to do as far as budgets and investments and savings and those types of things. So hope that's been helpful to you. Until next time, bye for now.